Well, good morning, folks. Today is the 3rd of March, 2026, and we're the first day of a multi-day severe weather threat. But first, we're going to look at the local radar here showing the freezing rain going on here in Maryland, Pennsylvania, as this system moves to the northeast. Eventually, swing through the northeast with and changing the rain. But for right now, some freezing rain and snow here, as well as some little bit of rain and maybe some snow out west here. So like I said, we're going to be facing a severe weather threat, excessive rainfall threat, and we'll be talking about that in today's weather forecast. Appreciate y'all watching. Welcome to my channel. Like my video if you like it. Subscribe, share with your friends, and put any comments in the comments below. Let's get started here with current hazards. As far as current hazards associated with this different moisture here, we have winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings in the northeast, these different areas. Most of Pennsylvania, parts of Maryland, West Virginia, and some special weather statements, freezing rain, freezing drizzle, and snow on the northern edge of this, right? So different splotchy areas of freezing rain, maybe some sleet and snow on the northern edge, right? All the way up in the parts of Maine here, winter weather advisories. Dense fog advisories along the coast here, some fog, special weather statement, and along the Gulf Coast as well. Out west, we have no part of the country, we got dense fog advisory, red flag warning into New Mexico, parts of southern Colorado. Winter weather advisory in southern Wyoming with this precip ongoing this morning. Looks like wind advisory here in Nevada. This will continue in Southern California. And let's go, and we have winter weather advisory along the eastern slopes of the Cascades in Oregon over the next couple of days. So as far as the high temperatures today, you can see where the wedge is pushing into the northeast part of the area today. Generally in this area here, just to the north of, to the north of Macon. So I'm not drawing very good. Anyway, you can see where the cooler temps are. And maybe more, the wedge might be more prominent right here. Anyway, highs in the 50s, upper 50s, way up north here, the northeast part of the state, warming up in the 70s to mid 70s further to the south. No precip expected with this. And moving into tomorrow and tonight, I mean, in the 40s where the wedge is the most prominent here. Otherwise, 50s for lows tonight. No precip expected. And tomorrow, warming up quite a bit here. Mid 70s in the north, approaching 80 degrees further to the south here. Moving on to the 15-day temperature outlook. So at least right towards the middle of March, it's going to be above normal, way above normal, maybe 10, 15 degrees above normal for highs and lows through next Wednesday at least. Then maybe cooling off to near normal for highs and lows, 60s and 70s for highs, 40s and 50s for lows. So still going to be relatively mild, although not as mild as it has been. As far as 83 to 70 U.S. hazards, we've been talking about this: severe weather, heavy rain, and high winds along the front range of the Rockies. Like starting, well, this is through the 3 to 7 day range, so this is towards the end of the week, right? So heavy rain, of course, severe weather, hazardous cold, high winds here up until Alaska as well. Moving on, the 8 to 14 day hazardous weather outlook. Moderate risk continuing here of excessive rainfall in a larger area with the 10th through the 11th. And then the 10th through the 13th, this maybe moves further to the south and east as we get through the period. Heavy snow possible here in the northern tier of the Rocky Mountains here, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. Wind looks to be a possibility here. High winds, a possibility of high winds anywhere east of the Rockies, parts of the Mountain West, and right along the west coast here to the 10th to the 12th. Right, you can see the time periods here, and southern Alaska as well, the 10th to the 14th. No hazardous temperatures expected, with the exception of southern and western Alaska, the 10th through the 12th. So as far as severe weather, what do we got going on today? Well, we got a marginal risk for severe weather, parts of Oklahoma, Missouri, and southeastern Kansas, a large area of general thunderstorms, parts of southern Texas, southwestern Texas, and parts of the Front Range of Colorado. Maybe get some thunderstorms today. This threat is mostly a hail threat today in this area here. On to day two, the threat increases, right? So we got a slight risk going from central Texas all the way up into extreme southern Missouri, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, with a larger marginal risk, extending all the way up to the Ohio Valley and into parts of central Texas here, um, just to the west of Austin, right? A larger thunderstorm risk here. Thunderstorms also possible on the west coast and into southern Florida. All right, this threat is driven mostly by wind threat. See the 15% wind threat with a larger marginal threat surrounding it. Hail threats even larger up into the extending in the whole area here, with some steep relapse rates aloft here. Tornado threat is the least concern, at least right now, although there's a marginal risk, 2% tornado risk in this smaller area here. So moving on to day three. I know it's a lot, right? We already have a hatch risk, and this outlook is going to change this afternoon. So it'll look different as we go through the day tomorrow and points forward. Anyway, the hail risk along a dry line here, maybe 2-inch hail or larger, right? We're getting to severe weather, guys, here, severe season. So, right, and this is mostly driven by hail. Then we have a larger slight risk, any significant severe and 50% any severe. So, but again, I think this is driven by hail right here, and a larger marginal risk extending up into Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma, and into southern Texas. It looks like, day four is going to be, I think this is today is Tuesday, Friday into Saturday looks to be the biggest day here, at least right now, with an enhanced risk already in parts of eastern Oklahoma, up towards Kansas City, and parts of northern Missouri, with a larger slight risk here. This is 30%, any severe, and 15%. So slight risk all the way up into Wisconsin and into parts of south, eastern Texas here. Man, got a lot to talk about today, guys. So it doesn't show anything here on day five, which I don't understand. So we'll go back. Yeah, so I went back and looked, and this is the last we have for anything on the map here. But I have a feeling that when we get towards day 7 and day 8, we're going to have a threat outlined out again out here, which may be significant again. So, and over the weekend as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that here. So as far as excessive rainfall, we have a marginal risk going spanning from Missouri all the way into parts of West Virginia today. Moving on to tomorrow, this arcs further to the south and west here into parts of northern Texas, parts of eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, Indiana as well. So large risk of marginal risk of excessive rainfall that could lead to flooding. For Thursday, we don't have anything on the map right now. For Friday, attendant to that severe threat, we got this marginal risk here as well. I'm moving into Saturday, a little bit further to the east here, parts of Texas, Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Louisiana, just a small area northwestern Mississippi and western Tennessee. And again, like I said, it's extreme southern Missouri here as well. So for the southern U.S., start the period, not a lot going on, right? And then as we get towards Wednesday night, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, so maybe overnight getting some increased convection on the northern edge of this, and this is where a severe weather threat is here. All right, that's your excessive rainfall. This is your severe weather threat um, for today, right? For Wednesday, we have a large hail risk here with slight risk and larger marginal risk. A marginal risk for tornadoes in the green area here, running from parts of Texas, Oklahoma, um, Arkansas, Missouri, still having problems with my states, and a large area for wind as well. So biggest threat's going to be hail and wind with this severe weather threat. Now we go into day 4. We have enhanced risk now on the in this area here, which is Friday into Saturday, right? So we have an enhanced risk in this small area from parts of eastern Oklahoma, Kansas, parts of Missouri, and a larger slight risk surrounding this here. So that's concerning given it's this far out. Okay, and I'm showing you this because this is part of the forecast, right? But yeah, I'll probably do a different segment just for severe weather and just a rainfall outlook anyway. This severe weather moves through. Not expecting a hugely impactful event to start with, and then going into Thursday, Wednesday into Thursday, just doesn't seem that big of a threat. Maybe right in here, but overall, not a huge threat. It looks like to start with here in parts of the south central U.S., the southern U.S. here. Oh boy, I'm stumbling a lot today. Sorry guys, trying to get you as much information here as possible, right? So excessive rainfall, we have that for day 1. For day 2, that extends into the southern tier of the U.S. as well. And then we get further out and we have the excessive rainfall extending back in here. This is the 6th through the 7th here. And this is the QPF, the total moisture and rainfall expected through Friday afternoon, right? So the highest totals are expected here into parts of eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, southwestern Missouri, and points to the northwest. Other than that, not expecting a lot here. So one other thing I want to go over real quickly is severe weather, some other severe weather parameters, and I'll do that in a separate segment here for the whole country. As far as temperatures go, we have warm temps, really warm here, right? 70s, 80s further to the south, with a dry line maybe pushing to the south here, with dew points, right? Moisture at the lowest levels. We can see how that is reflected compared to temperatures, right? Maybe this dry line in western Texas here, right? You see how it surges to the north here. We have 60s, maybe 70-degree dew points right along the Gulf Coast, all right? And so wherever those dew points are in the 60s, severe weather threat and moisture in the atmosphere could really bring some heavy rainfall, right? You see some higher dew points even along the Gulf Coast here, but far removed from any dynamics, so not expecting severe weather there. And that pushes back to the northeast with another southerly flow pushing up. So through Friday. So very warm, with the exception of when this boundary pushes to the south and it just pushes back north again here. As we go to the Midwest here, to start the period, you got some ice on the eastern flank here, maybe a little bit of freezing rain up here in the northern part of the United States, and some moisture streaming to the north here as well. Maybe some heavy rain setting up in this area. We talked about it, excessive rainfall outlook, right? Through today, right? Although most of the rainfall looks to be ramping up here overnight tonight, right? When we go into Wednesday, we look at the excessive rainfall for tomorrow. You see what on the northern edge of this where the excessive rainfall is the highest and points farther to the south. So um, this is the highest. This is the most confidence we might get some heavy rain in this area. So move through time with this. More moisture streaming to the north. This is Wednesday the 4th, right? Just repeated rounds of moisture coming through here. Maybe some heavy rainfall. See all these the reds and oranges on the screen here. Heavy rainfall along that boundary, pushing to the east. So overall, very active period for parts of the southeastern Midwest. Not really northern tier, not looking to be very active at all. As far as total rainfall expected through the short term, this is through Friday at 1 p.m. 2 or 3 inches of rain here. And this is mostly, let's go through this here. The first day, second day, and into Friday, right? Go back to the excessive rainfall outlook for, let's see, day 3, day 4, day 5. But so the first 2 days here, we have the highest risk of heavy rainfall on the eastern edge of the Midwest and the southeastern edge of the Midwest region here. As far as the severe risk for today, for the Midwest, we have this marginal risk for hail today as far as severe risk. No other threats with this, right? So, and a general thunderstorm risk surrounding it for today. And for tomorrow, we have this risk moves further to the south and east, and we'll talk about that with a different when I move to the southern region of the U.S. But so severe weather with hail here possible today. Going back to the radar, this is the updraft helicity swath. You see maybe some cells getting going here in the northern edge of this precipitation shield going into Wednesday, Tuesday into Wednesday. Repeated rounds and maybe some severe weather right in here going into Wednesday afternoon and evening. And then moving to the north, you could see where this boundary is setting up here. We could really get some intense convection going on here into Thursday and pushing eastward and into Friday. So, as far as temperatures go, starting off relatively cool, but warming up a lot here by Tuesday evening, especially in the southern part of this area. 30s and 40s and 20s up to the north here. And that those warmer temperatures moved kind of just this boundary. You see where it's setting up, right? 60s and 70s, even 50s and 40s up here in the upper Midwest, northern high plains here. And that maybe moves to the east some as we get push further into Friday, and then warming up quite a bit here again, even into the northern high plains, right? So like we've been talking about, these warm temperatures are going to really start to make themselves known in the next week or two. So be ready for a lot of pollen in the air here. So through the next 48 hours in the northeast, we're going to have this precipitation shield move to the north here. Although the HRR go a little bit further out with this and a little short term here, it's really not picking up the frozen very well here when it initializes. So let's go to the NAM and see how that handles it here. NAM 3 kilometer. Yeah, the NAM is handling this much better, right? So 6Z NAM. All right, moves it to the north here. Maybe some snow and freezing rain into the northeast, right? And then that warm air pushes to the north, okay? And then up into Maine, you get some maybe heavy snowfall along the coast here as the system ramps up, right? And then that moves out. And then you have just warmer temps and some showers here in the northeast. Just some precip just keeps moving through, just some showers here, and that continues through Thursday. Maybe some rain showers moving through again here Thursday into Thursday night. Let's see, this is Thursday 18Z, so around 2 p.m. Thursday afternoon. All right. So this is a liquid equivalent precip outlook here, right? So for the Northeast, we expect the highest totals. Well, this is more the eastern, northeast, and northeast corridor, right? So way far on the western edge of this is where we where we have the highest totals, and that's where part of the excessive rainfall outlook is, right? So we look at that. You see the excessive rainfall outlook um, through day one, right? So we go back through this. Most of the precip is on Wednesday into Thursday, and then more into Thursday afternoon. So that's the total precip amount. Now we look at winter weather, total snowfall. This is 10-1. Let's look at total snowfall, Cuchera, right up into northern Maine, parts of Maine here, and the northern New England. But other than that, not a lot of snow in other places here. Total ice, highest amounts in the highest terrain here, and right to the northwest of New York City. Just different areas spotted in here. So overall, not a huge icing event, except in the higher terrain. Maybe more impacts to be felt, and maybe right along a boundary that sits up here in parts of New York State, New Jersey, and Connecticut, and parts of Massachusetts here as well. Moving into New England, parts of northern New England, not into Maine, no, really. Expecting any freezing rain here. As far as temperatures go, likely the coldest temps will be up here into Maine this morning, right? This is 2 a.m. So let's just start about 6 a.m. 30s, 20s, and teens and single digits up here into Maine, right? This warm air starts to push in. That cold air hangs on here. You see temperatures into tomorrow morning, cool off some, but then warming up quite a bit here on Wednesday, 40s, 50s potentially here, even into Maine, getting in the 40s, right? Cooling off again overnight at 20s and 30s. Maybe wherever some snowpack is left over here, all right? Then warming up again nicely in the southern part of the area here, um, especially to the southwest, 50s and 60s, above freezing in the northeast as well. Maybe not getting quite as warm as the day before, but warming up very nicely here. Um, looks like there's a boundary still set up here, which is keeping temps a little bit cooler, but definitely a warm up on the way for the northeast. As far as the extended for temperatures, of course, we know it's going to be warm to start the period with the above normal temps expected for most of the continental U.S. As we go a bit further out, we get this cold push of air for the south here, with warmer than normal temps along the eastern seaboard and out west and in the deep south. Still staying below normal in Alaska, above in Hawaii, above the near normal to below in the Aleutian Island chain. And that trend is about the same here for day 6 to 10. So through that period, you can see how the temperature change here. As far as precip goes, we know at the beginning of the period that generally east of the Rockies are going to be very active, right? With a tongue of above normal precip extended into the Mississippi Valley here during this period, right? Out west below normal, right? And below to near normal to above in Alaska, above in Hawaii, below in the Aleutian Island chain, it looks like. And then we get towards the 8 to 14 day period, that threat moves further to the east. When we looked at 8 to 14 day hazards, we show that as well with the moisture, right? Below out west still for precip chances, above normal precip chances anyway. Above in Hawaii, near normal to below in the Aleutian Island chain as well. If we get even further out here, this is the 14th through the 27th. This was issued February 27th, which was 2 days ago. Week to 3 to 4 temperature outlook here. Below normal still predicted in Alaska. Most of the U.S. either equal or above chances. Well, you have equal chances above and below temperatures in the white, the red and orange. More certainty depending on if it's in the red, right? Orange is less certainty here, or the darker orange, excuse me. Northwest U.S. maybe below. Alaska, right? We talked about that. Above, and Hawaii, right? And so we move into the temperature, the precip, excuse me. Getting ahead of myself here. Looks like we still have a very active pattern continuing here in the Mississippi Valley up into the northern tier of the U.S. with equal chances in the white here and below in the southeast coast and the Florida, equal to below to above depending where you're at in Alaska, above in Hawaii. So that's it for the precip for the 3 to 4 week outlook. Well, if we get even further out, the monthly temperature outlook is looking pretty grim if you like cold weather. So either for most of the U.S. looking to be above normal, all right, with less certainty further to the north here in Alaska. If it stays below normal, chances are this will turn out the way this shows, right? So we'll keep an eye on that, all right. As far as precip, you see for the month of March, where the bullseye is here, pretty good confidence of above normal precip in the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley here. Equal chances in the white on the western, southern, and eastern edge of this, below out west, and below the Florida Peninsula, parts of the southeast. Equal to below to above in Alaska here. So a very active pattern will continue into the long term, and we see this upper level feature getting caught in the flow and eventually might sweep through the south central U.S. If this does happen, we could be in for some more severe weather into next week, but that remains uncertain, right? One thing that we know in the short term and long term is warmer than normal temperatures for most of the U.S. And if we get towards the extended, maybe cooling off some, but at least right now, the biggest concern in the short term really with severe weather and excessive rainfall. So let's keep that in mind in the coming days. So this week is going to be very active and likely to continue into next week as well. I appreciate y'all watching today, and thanks again for making my channel what it is today. Wish I had more time to talk about this, but unfortunately I have to work today. So I'll talk to y'all later, and have a good day, and God bless.